Here's a great question from a student about how to write an equation for these what seems kind of random, these values for inputs and outputs. And so what she has to do is think about a lot of things that relate to linear functions. And when you hear linear function, hopefully you're thinking, oh yeah, y equals mx plus b. That's got to come into play somewhere here. Remember that m is the slope and that's the change in y over the change in x. A lot of times you'll see it written this way for the slope formula. And b is the y-intercept. Think about what that means on a graph. Like your y-intercept is where the graph, where the point is hitting the y-axis. So think about that coordinate point is at 0 something, right? But 0 is the x value. So a y-intercept is going to be when x is 0, what is y? Okay, so we're going to use all that to kind of help us think through this. Inputs and outputs are considered the x values and the y values. So we have some coordinate points here. We don't have the y-intercept. They don't tell us what the 0 is, but take a look at the numbers and see if you see any patterns happening um, through this. Like what's happening with these inputs? Yeah, they're decreasing by 4 every time. It's going down by 4 each time. What's happening with the output? It's going down by 5 each time. So a different input and output change, right? The ratio is slightly different. All right. So think about your change in y. Well, the change in y is that it's decreasing by 5 every time. The change in x is that it's decreasing by 4 every time. If we divide that, 5 over 4 doesn't change. It doesn't simplify, but -5 divided by -4 is +5 over +4. So we actually have a positive slope here. So I know that I'm going to have y equals 5 over 4x, and then I have to figure out my y-intercept. Well, there are different ways to do that. One of the ways that I think, because this is just such um, an apparent change, like this is going down by 4. So the next line would be 8, right? 12 minus 4 is 8. And this side's going down by 5. Well, 5 minus 5 is 0. But that's not it. Think about 8 zeros out here. That's not a y-intercept. That's actually an x-intercept, which is great, but it doesn't help us. It doesn't tell us what the y-intercept is yet. So let's go down 4 more. 8 minus 4 is 4. That means we go down 5 on the y value. So now we're down to -5. Well, we're almost there. 4 take away 4, that puts us at 0, which is what we want. And then at -5, we go down 5 more. That puts us at -10. So that tells us that our y-intercept would actually be at -10. So there is the equation for this input-output function. All right, I hope that helps. It's a really challenging one. I'll see you next time.